Hi viewers, welcome you once again to Micro Learning. This is again Shailaja with class 12 economics. So we have come to the third chapter, and in yesterday's class we have seen regarding aggregate demand function. So what is the formula for aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M, and we have seen the diagram, and we have learned that aggregate demand depends upon what are the things that it depends upon: the amount that the entrepreneur is willing to sell and the output that is being produced. How much of laborers is he going to employ according to the demand of the product in the market. So in today's class we are going to see lesson number 3, theories of employment and income, that is 3.6.2. It's nothing but aggregate supply function. So what is aggregate supply function? So last we have seen regarding demand. Okay, so according to the demand, production increases. What does the businessman do? He invests money in order to get his returns according to the demand that is being created in the market. Now we are going to see the supply. Now who plays a very major role? Producer. Okay, producer plays a very major role in aggregate supply function. Okay, so whatever he is doing, that is the amount that he is being supplied, right, it depends upon the employment. Okay, employment provision that is being done. So first point tells you aggregate supply function is an increasing function. It is an increasing function and the level of employment. Okay, so you're going to see the supply increases, the employment also increases. When employment is increasing, naturally what happens? Production increases. So what happens to the goods? The total goods and services that is produced increases when aggregate supply function operates. So goods and services produced. So first one is, it's on employment. Second one, it tells you about the goods and service. Supply tells you about the goods and services produced. Okay, it tells about the value of the product. So when you supply the commodity into the market, and when that is going to contribute towards the national income, we should know the value. Value is nothing but the price of the product. Next one tells you aggregate supply refers to required amount of laborers. As supply is going on increasing, your labor power also increases. Because why? The production has increased. Okay, employment has increased over there, and goods and services also has increased. So what is happening to the value of the product? The value of the product is also increasing. So everything is increasing. What we are supposed to do? We have to introduce more amount of laborers. So what do the employers do over here? They hire labor, or they purchase various inputs like raw material to make it into a finished product. So it involves some cost. Either you hire laborers, you give it for outsourcing, or you have to purchase various inputs, that is raw materials, from wherever you get. From there you are supposed to hire it for, or you have to buy it for your manufacturing unit. Next one says, if revenue from the sale of output, now we are going to get income. Okay, what are you going to sell? The output that has been produced. Your revenue should be greater than cost. Okay, then only profit incurs. When an entrepreneur is happy, when his revenue is more than the cost. So R should be greater than cost. Okay, every businessman, Every single person needs revenue. Revenue should be greater than cost. So an entrepreneur, when he is employing more and more people into the manufacturing unit, he sees that every individual contributes towards the output and increase the income of the entrepreneur. Okay. Now, aggregate supply price is the total amount of money that all entrepreneurs in an economy expect to receive. Every businessman, okay, what does he tries to receive? Naturally, profit. How does he gets the profit? From the sale of output. Okay, sale of output. And he also sees how much of laborers are employed there in the production process. So the term price refers to the amount of money received from the sale of output. So what is price? He has introduced labor, he has brought out goods, okay, he has given value for it, everything has been given, but he expects a good price, and that stands as a revenue for the businessman. Hence, there are different aggregate prices for different levels of employment. Okay, every person do not get the same type of price. Each product has its own variation. So, what are the components of aggregate supply? This is a book back question. Okay, what are the components of aggregate supply? First one, consumption expenditure. Next one, private savings. First one, consumption expenditure, private saving. Next is net tax payment. How much of tax does he pay? Next, personal transfer payment. Okay, how much he gives for? Maybe some relief funds or maybe some donations that he pays. Okay, all this is supposed to be transfer payment. So you have an equation which says you aggregate supply is equal to C plus S plus T plus RF. Okay. So C plus S plus T plus RF. Okay, what does C stands for? All of us know C stands for consumption expenditure. What does S stands for? Saving. T stands for tax payment, and RF stands for transfer payment. Okay, transfer payment which we paid for the foreigners. You understand? This is called as transfer payment. So you should know this equation. Now you have a diagram. So what is given on the y-axis? Expected proceeds. What is given on the x-axis? Employment. So you can see two lines, Z1 and Z curves, and you can see here NF. Now let us see one by one what is all this. What does the diagram tells you? There are two aggregate supply curves drawn that is drawn for the assumption of fixed money wages and variable wages. So two concepts are there. Okay, one is fixed money wages, the other is supposed to be variable wages. Fixed wages, maybe you can say monthly what a person may be receiving. Variable wages, it depends upon the time duration of his work, how many days is he able to work over there. Now what does Z curve represent? So you can see Z over here is nothing but linear where money wages remains fixed. What does Z1 tells you? It is non-linear. So note down each and every point that I am telling you. So here it is given Z as linear, Z1 as non-linear. Okay, non-linear tells you wage rate increases with employment. Okay, what does a non-linear tell you? Wage rates are increasing with employment. What does linear tells you? Money, wages are fixed. Now, when full employment level, that is NF, okay, full employment level is reached, it is impossible to increase output after this. There is no use of employing more and more person after this level, because we have already reached a level or a saturation point above which you cannot employ more people. So, aggregate supply becomes inelastic. That is, it becomes a vertical straight line over here. Is it clear? It becomes this vertical straight line is supposed to be inelastic in nature. So, Z tells you linear, Z1 tells you non-linear, and the vertical supply line is supposed to be inelastic in nature. Elastic, expandable, inelastic it is, that does not change. So, the slope of the aggregate supply curve depends on the relationship between employment and productivity or production. Now, what do you mean by capital stock? Is often fixed, and hence the law of diminishing marginal return takes place as more workers are employed. Okay, so according to the need, we are supposed to employ people, otherwise we will get diminishing returns. Diminishing means the day to day what will happen? The production will start decreasing. So based upon this relation, aggregate supply curve can be expected to slope upwards. So the aggregate supply depends upon prices and wages. If prices are high, what happens? Wages are low. The producers will try to employ laborers, more laborers, because the prices are high. So, நிறைய பேரை introduce பண்ணி they will start at increasing the production. So, wages will become low at that particular area. If prices are low, wages are high. Okay, the prices are high, wages are low. If prices are low, wages are high. So, you can see an inverse relationship taking place over there. So, the aggregate supply is an important factor in determining the economy. So, you have a worksheet. What is aggregate supply curve? When does the aggregate supply curve becomes inelastic? What is aggregate supply function? What is Z1 curve represents? Okay, what does Z curve represents? And write the formula for aggregate supply. Those who are watching the channel for the first time, please subscribe. Click on to the bell button for further notification, and please support me. Thank you very much.